Fight.
So you're playing Kazuya, right? And yeah, hell sweeping, it's kind of your job. You really got to teach the other person that Kazuya is a hell sweep character. Now, since you do a lot of hell sweeps, you get into an Oki situation. So the danger about a hell sweep is not the fact, yeah, it's also the fact that it's a 33 damage low, but mostly it's because you get into a mix-up situation. And the fact is that this mix-up situation, there are a few options you have, but yeah, I think there's one mistake that a lot of Kazuya players make. I make it too, and that is the fact that after this hell sweep they go for a forward 3 and they just try a forward 3. They don't think about the timing, they don't think about how to apply it. And well, the forward 3, as you saw, is really steppable, so it's really linear, and that's the reason why a lot of people will tech roll to the left after you hit a hell sweep. So what I'm going to talk about in this video is that forward 3 can be a mistake if you don't think about it, if you don't think about the timing, and I'm going to show you this by just showing how dangerous the move actually is, how punishable it is, and this gives you a big view on how to defend against people using forward 3 after a hell sweep. Now, one disclaimer I want to talk about is the fact that this is about hell sweep Oki. So you do a hell sweep and then the Oki here. So not after a 1-1-2, not after you get forward 4 and then you get the Oki. This is purely about hell sweep Oki. Now, first of all, what is Kazuya's 50-50 Vortex for if you don't know? Well, Kazuya has a really great 50-50 in his hell sweep, which is an unseeable 33 damage great Oki low that is launch punishable if you block it. And his forward 3 is just a mid that launches. So yeah, every time you are really minus against Kazuya, there's a big chance he's going for the hell sweep or going for the forward 3. Now, why is it a Vortex? Well, after a hell sweep he can go again into a 50-50. Now, why can Kazuya apply his 50-50 so good in Tekken 7? It's because forward 4 exists. So if you stay on the ground, if the other player just lays down like this and you do a hell sweep, well, the forward 4 will beat it and will beat every ground thing. Even if you roll, it will beat it and it will clip him. Forward 4 really makes it dangerous in Tekken 7 to stay down. So people know the forward 4 might be coming and they're scared of it, so they want to get off the ground. So what do? Well, against Kazuya they side roll left. Why do they do this? Well, a lot of people know, and it's a fact that Kazuya's right side is weak side, which means you need to sidewalk left. Let me show this. So I let the other Kazuya let him do jab into a hell sweep and jab into forward 3. I even can let the jab hit me and then sidewalk left, and I beat it. Again, let the jab hit me, sidewalk left. So Kazuya is really weak to his right side. So sidewalk left against Kazuya. So on Oki, after a hell sweep, it's generally the same. So you do a hell sweep, he side rolls left. So you're a Kazuya player and you just did your hell sweep. So you want to apply the 50-50 because you think he's going to side roll. Now, if you know he's going to side roll, what do? Well, you want to hit him with the 50-50. So if I do it too fast, then I will just whiff. If I do my forward 3 too fast, then I will just whiff because he side rolled. So you gotta time this right. Now the hell sweep actually has a bit more tracking than the forward 3. So the hell sweep's timing is a lot easier. You just gotta wait a bit, do forward, and then hell sweep. And as you can see, he blocked it, but it hit, it wasn't whiffing. Now the forward 3, even if it's a bit delayed, it will actually miss. So you gotta really wait for it and then do the forward 3, even longer. Like that. So we're going to go into all the situations where someone does the forward 3 and will make mistakes in doing it. So first of all, we're going to do a delayed forward 3, so if he tech rolls, he can still block it. Right? Like this. Now, second way a lot of people do it, I do it this way also. So you hell sweep and then you start wave dashing, right? So you hell sweep into a wave dash into a forward 3. You can do a double wave dash into forward 3. And let's show a triple wave dash into forward 3. So what you get is this, and we tech roll and we block. Now we want to beat these options, right? So we're going to see forward 3 and then block. How do we beat this? Well, after a tech roll, you can buffer in a sidestep, and then you can sidestep and just electric him, because the forward 3 is that linear. I don't need to sidestep a lot, right? Look, so that is just normal, and this will beat it. See? So Forward forward 3, really linear. Let's look at the other options. So this is the crash dash into the forward forward 3. It already whiffs. So yeah, this finishes it. Then the double crash dash, and you gotta know the more crash dashes he does, yeah, the more dangerous it gets, because if he keeps doing crash dashes, I can do this. And now 3 crash dashes, it's the same thing, so we side walk and we will beat this. Bam. Now what I want to show you is that with the Hellsweep it's a little different. So I did the same thing, I let him do a Hellsweep and then forward dash into a Hellsweep, wave, 1 crash dash into a Hellsweep, 2 crash dashes and 3. And we're going to sidestep this also. So let's see. And that didn't work. So the following one, that didn't work. The other one, so sidestep, that did work. And now this one, that also works. So if he starts wave dashing at you, if he's like really far in the wave dash, you can side walk to beat this out. But if he does a hell sweep and then a nicely timed hell sweep again, then you won't be able to step it. So where am I actually getting to? What am I actually explaining? Well, good point. The thing I'm explaining is the fact that forward forward 3 and hell sweep here, the way we're doing the mix up is actually really dangerous, and it's not in our favor. So the hell sweep, 33 damage, and it's lunge punishable. So if it blocks it, he lunges you. We only get 33 damage. If we're going for the forward forward 3 and we're able to hit him, then we get a lunge. But if he's just side stepping after he tech rolled, then he gets a lunge. So lunge, and the other thing is lunge versus 33 damage. So this is not in our favor, we don't want this. So yeah, this is I think the biggest mistakes a lot of Kazuyas make, is that they think that after a hell sweep, a forward forward 3 is actually pretty good. It's not good, it's quite dangerous. Now there's one big note I have to make, and that is the timing of the forward forward 3. If you're really well practiced and you really can do it, you can actually time it that they can't step it, and if they try to step it, they'll actually get hit. So let's try to make it this way. So we do this, and then we wait a long time and we try to forward forward 3. Okay, so this was not good. So I tried to set this up and I let him do a forward forward 3 that is pretty slow. But now I got the situation where I'm going to tech roll. I try to sidestep, but because the other guy hits me with the forward forward 3, mid tech roll, I'm still going to block it. So even though I try to side walk here, sidestep, nothing is going to happen, and I'm still blocking it. So I finally got the timing right. I think it cost me 30 tries or something. So he's going to do the hell sweep, I'm going to try to step, and as you can see, it will hit me. But yeah, this is so well timed. This needs to be so well timed that I think it's not worth the risk. So what do you actually do as a Kazuya player? I think you leave the forward forward 3 out of the hell sweep Oki. If you watch Boa Love, if you watch the Mayman Sui, after a hell sweep they actually almost never do forward forward 3. I don't think they even do forward forward 3. Now what options do you have if you can't use forward forward 3? Well, you can use forward forward 4. This thing will never whiff. So if the opponent tries to side roll and then sidesteps, he will probably just block it because he's still in his side roll animation, in his tech roll animation, and if you kick him in his tech roll animation, he will just block it. If he's ducking, you will get a hit and you're at +6, so that's great. Another option is, Boa Love does this a lot of time, is doing a sidestep into a down back 2. Down back 2, I think at some angles can hit grounded, so yeah, that's also pretty good. So another option that is used a lot, but more at higher ranks, is doing a hell sweep and then a crash dash instant while standing 2. So Kazuya's while standing 2 is, yeah, a launcher, but also it's a homing move. So if I try to sidewalk or sidestep here, I will get hit. So this catches both duckers and side steppers, which is really good because that, yeah, is what you do against Kazuya. Now the thing is, the instant while standing 2 or the while standing 2 is -17, so that was a punish. This means that you can just hop kick it or electric it. So be ready, if a Kazuya player does this to you, you really need to be ready to punish this. The last option is, that's something Boa Love also does a lot, is going for the crash dash 3+4. So this thing catches sidestepper. So I try to sidestep and it actually catches the people that try to sidestep. This thing, however, is unsafe, so if I block it, I can get an 11 frame punish. Now the crouch dash 3+4 is a great option because it gives a free forward, as you could see here. And after that, you get pretty good Oki. So the Oki of a forward 4 where he flips you is actually way better than the Oki of a Hellsweep. Why? Because he can't do spring kicks, he can side roll, but the fact with a side roll is that let's say we do this and then we do a forward 3. In this situation you can actually go for the forward 3, as you can see here. So it won't whiff. I tried to sidestep it and it wouldn't work, and if you delay it a bit it would actually hit me. So yeah, that is a completely different situation, so there you can use the forward 3. Now there are two disclaimers I need to make about my point of not doing forward 3 for Hellsweep Oki. The first one is if you do a Hellsweep and then you start waving in his face and then do a forward 3, well, that is not Hellsweep Oki anymore. That is more like the wave dash situation. So yeah, you can just do a Hellsweep, and if you know for sure he's going to stay still and and just side roll, then you can definitely just go for waving and then choose to go into a Hellsweep or try a forward 3. That is not the Oki situation of a Hellsweep, I think. Now the other thing is if the opponent is on the other side, so he's playing on that side, and we're doing a Hellsweep and he tech rolls, he actually can't side walk or side step into the back direction. So he can only side walk into the screen and not out of the screen. So yeah, here you can go for a delayed forward 3. But how do you know that the opponent is actually playing on that side? So you can say I'm going to play Kazuya on player 1, so if I do this I know for sure he can sidewalk here. But no, online you don't know that for sure. So in real life, and when you're playing couch co-op and you're playing against someone that sits next to you, you can actually be sure that you're playing player 1 and he's playing player 2, and you can do this. But online there is this thing where you choose a side. So let's say I choose to play on the left side and my opponent also chooses to play on the left side. We can actually go against each other, and the fact is, even though we both chose to be on the left side, on my screen he's going to be on the right side, and on my screen he's going to able to sidestep into the direction of the screen, so he's able to sidestep this. So yeah, online you will never know for sure that the opponent is actually on the right side. Yeah, you can test it out with certain moves, and after you do this and he sidewalks, then you know it. But for your first Oki situations, for your first Hellsweeps, you're not able to do forward 3 for sure. So yeah, this was my point about forward 3 and Hellsweep Oki. I think it's a bit dangerous to do. I think you have better options that are a bit safer. And yeah, every time I play the good player, I do it a lot, the forward 3. And if you play against a good player and he sidewalks it and then you get launched, it doesn't feel good. So now if you want to know more about Mishimas or just Tekken gimmicks and how to defend against it, well, please subscribe to me because I do a lot of that content. Go look on my channel, and see you guys next time.